Well, hello, my soul family. Happy Monday. It's such a bright morning today, and I'm so excited to be here and to give you all positivity this coming week because a lot of good energy is in the air, but it's all about how we handle it. Okay, so I did just finish recording some of the dailies for this week, as well as the weekly astrology and the how-to motivational speech. This week's theme was how to stay in the light because the astrology for this week is a little bit intense when it comes to balancing out our relationship dynamics, whether it's romantic, whether it's familial, whether it's friendships. But I feel like these energies are calling us to clean up any last minute, tensions in the air so that we can experience this harmony approaching Easter Sunday, which is this Sunday, April 12th. And it's so funny that I really have to tell you this today, that for whatever reason, okay, the divine wanted me to speak about the book of Revelations and scripture and this new world in regards to Easter Sunday yesterday. And I could have sworn that yesterday was Easter for whatever reason. And it just so happened that I basically got ahead of myself. And I feel like this is for a specific reason. Because what the divine wants you guys to do is to watch that video so that approaching this Sunday, you're going to be ready on learning what it is you need to do, what to expect, as to how this energy is going to influence us. Because, we are celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's the miraculous ascension. You see, after he was persecuted and falsely accused, and then people, woke up to the truth and realized, oh my God, he was right all along. He was the king here to save us. God sent him down here. And that's when they realized that they were in the wrong. But guess what? It was too late for them, for their karma in the afterlife, you could say. So this is the message of this week, putting 1 and 2 together from the astrology, and then from that message, all the spiritual talks that I did yesterday, plus the Bible study. A lot of information was channeled and downloaded to me as well through dreams this week, the past week. And this is the message, is that don't wait till it's too late to apologize. Don't wait till it's too late to harmonize a relationship. Don't wait till it's too late to do the right thing, because the time is now. Okay, whether you see it immediately or not, karma is very wise. It doesn't transpire immediately because that would be too easy, you see. And it hits people where it hurts them the most. That's why it's not the same for everybody. So you want to make sure that you are on the right path. You're on the right boat, basically, right? The boat that's heading towards this new world, which is this new earth, this new heaven. And that was also prophesied in the book of Revelations. And it's no coincidence that the book of Revelations is actually the last book of the New Testament for a reason, because this has yet to be completed, you see. And just as I speak this, I saw 333, which is his Jesus number. The balance of body, mind, and spirit. We need to realign our chakras so that we can really connect with the truth. Make sure that you're channeling clearly, and not just hearing what you think you want to hear, your ego. This death and rebirth that's happening this week is also about dissolving the ego once and for all, especially when it comes to pride and relationships. Because I feel like a lot of relationships fail because of this need to be right. And that's called power struggle. And that's not healthy, and that's not going to bring harmony. It's only going to bring more tension and just more resentments. But this week is also about becoming empowered. And that's why I was really guided to wear all yellow today. Because this week, the theme for a new U10 Week Intensive Soul Coaching Program that you really want to be a part of, the theme of this week is that of assertiveness and setting healthy boundaries. And that's no reason for it because, ever since this weekend, with the energies a little bit heavy when it comes to our emotions, Venus moving into Gemini, was like a lot being in your head. It actually caused me to really step into my assertiveness power, learning to defend myself and not letting people step over you. You know, being nice and being a light worker doesn't mean that you let people step over you. You still need to set clear boundaries, and you need to demand respect. And you respect others as well, and that's how it's reciprocated. But it doesn't mean that being respectful means acknowledging doing something wrong. This never means, you know, letting yourself be influenced negatively. Because part of being a light worker is being a leader of the light, of showing and paving the way to the light. So despite what people around you might think or disagree with what you're doing, what you're saying, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Remember this saying every time this happens. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. And just because nobody's doing it doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do. So think twice, my friends, before trying to, you know, follow false idols, basically, right? Okay, it's about, I was just about to say something. Yeah, it's about, like, for example, are you gonna be the one following a trend that is, you know, low vibrational? Or are you gonna be the trendsetter towards trendsetting something that is of light, despite what people might think, despite the controversy, or despite the challenge that people might take it as? Like, you know, the only reason people get triggered is because it's really a projection of what's going on within. The only time you get triggered, which I explain a lot of this in my book and in my A New Soul Coaching program, is because something within you is unhealed. So basically, when you get triggered, it's basically just a tap on your shoulder by the angel on your side, telling you, hey, this is what you need to heal. So open your heart. Don't close yourself off or deny this. Because if you deny and resist it, this healing and this acceptance that it needs healing, the more it's going to transpire in your reality and the more it's going to damage your relationships. So if you don't take control of it now, it's going to get worse over time. It doesn't get better. It's like a wound. Let's say you get an open cut wound. Let's say you leave it, you know, untended for a week. Do you think that thinking, you know, I'll leave it to fix it next week, the longer the wound stays open, the more it's going to fester and the more it's going to get damaged and the more it's actually going to cause whole body pain. It might even cause death for that reason if you don't take care of that wound, right? Because it might get infected. So you tend to a wound immediately. That's how you have to look at your deeper inner healing, emotional heart wounds. That's Chiron and Aries speaking right here. Okay, and that's the astrology that I was speaking about in my April forecast. So you really want to look at that video. It's in my lecture section for purchase because it's a lot of information there for what you can expect for the whole month and even a little bit of a glimpse of May. So that's Chiron and Aries, you know, taking action towards healing your wounds immediately. Don't procrastinate on your healing. So again, I need to show you this because the divine wants me to show you again. To purchase my book, Heal from the Inside Out, it's available on Amazon. I really suggest that you purchase the paperback, but it's also available on Kindle or ebook on my website where you can download it straight to your iBooks. But the reason why I recommend the paperback is because this is basically a chakra guide and a healing guide. So let's say I literally just opened right now to the solar plexus. So you see, the divine always opens you up to the page that you need to listen for that day. This is the chakra that's being targeted this week, I feel, for the collective. It's the solar plexus. Empowering yourself, knowing your worth, your self-worth. And that's actually the sun that's going to move into Taurus by next week because we're in Aries right now. Aries is all about taking this action towards defending ourselves, having the courage to stand up for ourselves, and having the courage to heal these deep wounds that might be a little tough to look at because it can make us feel bad, you see. But when we move, as we move in next week, Sun in Taurus, we're going to be regaining this self-worth and self-value in ourselves. And this is going to shine outwardly to those around you. And you're going to be a more efficient, valuable light worker because of it. Because the more that you know your own self-worth, no longer is that going to stand in the way of the higher mission, which is you being on your spiritual mission. You see? And that's where my Lightworker University program comes into play, which begins in literally less than a month. So you really want to look into that. There's a sale going on right now. a huge sale for that matter. Because for the entire year that I'm going to be teaching classes weekly, 4 semesters, so there's going to be breaks in between, but it's going to be 10 weeks each semester. So it's 40 weeks of class basically. And you're going to get all of that for just $300, and the original price is $1,500 because this is basically a school tuition. So if you're interested in that and you want to learn more about how to create a spiritual business development in what you do for a living, then that's where you need to go. And if you also want to learn more about your spiritual awakening, because I feel like the collective is really going through a massive spiritual awakening, and it's waking people up to deep things, to the bigger cosmic picture, which I talk a lot about in my Cosmic Consciousness show. And stay tuned for this week because I've been getting really deep stuff, okay, through dreams and through messages from visions. And I feel like it's very important because I'm not the only one who has been feeling or seeing these things. So it only confirms that it's the truth, but it's also, you know, behind the veil that it's not very obvious to people. People have been oblivious to this truth. And there is deception, you know, from our own minds, our own egos, you know, society in general. That's the government economic structure that the Bible of Revelation, the book of Revelations in the Bible spoke about. And why this, you know, reconstruction has to happen to restabilize and construct a new earth and really look into those spiritual talks. You're going to get a lot of insight. And I just saw 1111, and before that I saw 911. These are all light workers, spiritual numbers. So really look into that, because anything is possible, my friends, when you believe in miracles, when you stay aligned with the divine, and when you tune in with your spiritual nature from within. So I really hope that you have an amazing week. I might come on later as usual and really look into my YouTube channel, my website, because that's where all the real stuff are, all the videos, all the knowledge is. This is just a sample, sneak peek, an introduction, and a hello basically from myself and the divine. So have an amazing and beautiful Monday, everybody. Stay productive, stay motivated, and stay in the light. Namaste. So welcome to the second part of the podcast for today. So today I have a lot of important topics that I really want to talk about with you about this week. First off, this is going to be a little bit of a teaching moment for you guys, okay? I want to teach you today how to stay motivated despite what's going on in the world. You know, you're stuck at home. How to keep your schedule running efficiently to stay creative and stay on top of your game, basically. You see, how to stay efficient, basically. So this is all about, first off, spiritual discipline. Okay, so ask the divine for strength whenever you feel like you're lacking or when you feel like you're getting lazy, basically, because getting lazy is not part of the mission. Okay, that's being opposite of a light worker. So no laziness around here, no procrastination on your healing process and journey. So let us do a little bit of let me teach you of how I plan out my week. So today is Monday after all, and I haven't yet filled out my schedule for the week, but I have an idea based on, you know, all the videos that I did this week for the dailies, the weekly guidance, and the astrology. I better know how to plan out my week. So as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to fill out my week and what is best to do on what day based on those videos. So I do rewatch my videos, and I really recommend that's why you sign up to my High Vibes Only Club, because it's really going to help you to stay in line. Okay, and I also have a small journal where I post like my yearly projects, my life goals, and this is how I stay on top of my game, basically, by writing what I'm going to do each day. Sometimes I write a few on my phone if that helps me. But I make sure that I have a rhythm. I wake up at a certain time every day. I have a certain morning routine to get me going. Make sure my self-care is in there. I meditate to align with the spirit and what I'm meant to do that day, whether I like it or not, whether I'm in the mood or not. It's not up to me, right? That's when we surrender our will to the divine. So the divine doesn't want us to be lazy during these times just because, we're stuck at home. There's a lot actually to be done, a lot. And it's a lot about healing partnerships, healing our family dynamics, because this is what I also want to talk about. Let us say that there's I actually wrote a blog article that you might want to look into. It's called Healing Family Dynamics, and it's on my website. And you realize, okay, let us say you haven't seen a family member in quite some time, or maybe it feels like you haven't seen them in a long time because everybody's in their own world on a day-to-day basis. Everybody has their work routine and their lifestyle. And when do they mesh together in families? Mostly never, right? There's very little time and nowadays in the fast-paced world that we live in. And this creates unharmony. It creates dysfunctional relationships. It creates distance, okay, in love. And that's harmful for humanity because we need love. Love is our secret weapon, you see, because love cures all. And yet, people are being tempted to not believe in love and healing. So that's where the test is coming here. And that's where this comes into play, what I'm going to say right now, is that, perhaps things don't get to your nerves as you're getting to know someone, for example, or perhaps, you're only at home with them for just a little bit of time. Like, for example, let us put this perfect example of this thing in the world, right? This quarantine. At the beginning of this quarantine, it's already been I want to say almost a month and a half that we've been in this quarantine, right? And people are starting to get a little, angsty. I want to do something, right? I'm getting bored. But, so there's a lot to say about this. So for example, at the beginning of the quarantine, things could have been, a little bit more lighthearted. You could have been, I guess, tolerating the people around you, or just kind of walking on eggshells with those around you, not wanting to stir the boat. You see, this could happen in romantic relationships as well if you're living with a partner. Or perhaps, look at those partners, for example, who had a little bit of a fallout, let's say, and now they're stuck together in the same home. How awkward is that, right? Maybe they were on the verge of a divorce and now they have to live together again for these months. How are they going to deal with that, right? So it's like people have been putting a false mask, I feel, emotionally. And this is why the divine has kind of extended this stay at home. Because the longer that you're stuck by force, inevitably the true colors will come out. And that's where the test comes. That's where the healing actually comes. And that's what was happening recently. And I feel like this week is all about re-empowering ourselves to be assertive, learn how to set healthy boundaries. Because once you do this, this is going to transpire for the rest of your future, for this new life that we're stepping into. What new life do you want to recreate in your world? What kind of family dynamics do you want to have? What kind of romantic relationship do you want to have? Do you want to keep repeating these patterns that haven't been giving you the results that you want? Or do you want to create new ones that are healthier and that are going to make everybody happy, including yourself? This is not about being a martyr and sacrificing your own happiness. So don't forget that, because that's important this week. And that's why in my new soul coaching program, a new youth soul coaching program, 10-week intensive, this week is all about taking action in your assertiveness skills. So I actually go deep into teaching you assertiveness skills and helping you to set healthy boundaries in every kind of circumstance and situation that might pop up. It could even be in your job. If you're being abused in your job, that's not healthy for your emotional well-being. You need to learn to set boundaries in your life in general, because that will open doors for you and good opportunities. And these opportunities are there, but only for those who have done the healing work. So that's where I want to wake people up, because, don't bite your tongue to not cause conflict. Speak up your spiritual truth. Don't let people step over you. Respect yourself by defending yourself and defending the spiritual truth. Now, in the Warrior of Light, This book has been a huge use to me lately, because that book has been completed on my spiritual book club, so I'll link it down below. But in those 5 episodes, because it's a very short book, it really teaches you how to be a warrior of light. Because a warrior of light is gonna be, attacked, you can say that's the word, either, spiritually or by people around them, but it's not really them. You see, it's the energy. It's just a test for you to stand up to yourself. And the warrior of the light actually tells you that sometimes you are more of a warrior by stepping back out of the conflict when you know that you're going to lose, or that your opponent is stronger, like more hurtful than you. Sometimes it's best to just walk away from a heavy situation that you know it's not going to speak good things. Because remember that you can't take words back. And words can actually stab like a knife. So you want to make sure that your words are sacred, and wash your mouth of anything that's not sacred, because that comes back to you. And I was actually thinking of this metaphor before I end this podcast. It's like when you verbally speak something that's not good to somebody, right? This person will be saved by the angels, and basically they're going to, and that's actually what my dream was actually about in a different scenario. That person was saved, was moved out of the way from this kind of like bullet, you can say, of like word attack. And what happens if it's like a boomerang effect? It bounces to the wall. Where is it going to hit now? It's going to hit back to the person who sent it. So that's how this works. So this is just a reminder to give you a little extra motivation to stay in the light and to keep your words sacred. Make sure that you're nice and kind to those around you. And it will be easier to do this by embodying more compassion for them, being more empathic for where they are at in their journey, for what they might not understand about the spiritual journey, and perhaps what they can learn from you just by you standing in your truth and by you keep doing you. That's how they learn. You inspire them that way. You don't inspire them by speaking, what they should do. You inspire them by being that role model. And by then seeing how much you're getting blessings out of that, and how much you're growing as a person, as a soul, they're going to want to get on that boat too. And that's how you inspire. That's the magic of inspiring people. That's how you become an influencer, a positive influencer of the light. It's not about following those people that you think are quote unquote cool, because most of the time they're really not cool when they're not in the light. And you don't want to reap that same karma as those people. You want to be the trendsetter of the light. And the people who follow you will reap those same blessings and rewards in the future that is coming, this new world. So really look into all my videos. I know today was like a little harsh energy, but the divine really wanted me to have like this kind of like tough talk with you guys, humanity in general, because I don't feel like this is only, in regards to my personal life. Everything that happens in my personal life, because I'm a light worker now and I'm in a leadership position, is because it helps the collective in some way, in a metaphoric way. So in whatever way that this resonates with you, please let me know. Maybe I can help you in your own personal scenario. I am a psychologist after all. If you want to book a personal session with me in healing these dynamics, I'm available. I do face-to-face Zoom webinar meetings, or even face-to-face Skype. So we can see each other while we speak about this deeply, just like it would in the counseling session. I can help you out, because I know this is a difficult time for a lot of you people, more when it comes to your emotional stability, more than economic stability, because the economic stability will stabilize itself once the priorities are set straight. And that's what God said to me yesterday. And these priorities that need to be set straight are the healing of all relationship dynamics, bringing more harmony and joy in your life, and learning to live in the present moment by being in silence, by being in stillness. And I've been having to do this as well. And it can get a little angsty, because you always want to be doing something in this fast-paced world. And that's the Venus and Gemini speaking. So it's you about fighting you with yourself. By you slowing down in your everyday life and just being still, stare at the wall for a few minutes or an hour if you can. Or do just some silent meditation with no audio. Yoga with no sound, or just take a walk on your own in nature if you can. And that's how you listen to what the divine really wants to tell you. So everything that I spoke about in today's podcast is really a huge message for the collective. empower yourselves, be assertive, and stay positive. So thank you all for listening to this, and make sure that you watch the videos with the links down below. It's really important. Look at all the videos on my YouTube channel and my lecture section on my website, my spiritual book club, and my High Vibes Only club for your daily morning messages. So I love you all, and stay tuned because I'm going to be doing the love show this week live. I'll let you know with the exact time and date. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be live stream. I discovered a new form to do that technology-wise. That's the Aquarius energy coming into the air. So I'm so excited for that. So you can email me your questions and you can participate in the actual show. So I really hope you all have an amazing and beautiful Monday. Namaste.